Got to add to that. I'm sorry. If my husband is working for the NFL making that kind of salary, he gets the green light. He can, I'm sorry. She has nothing to complain about. First baby or fifth, I don't really care. All right. Rap mogul Suge Knight is behind bars after turning himself in. He's accused of murder in a deadly hit and run in Los Angeles. His attorney says he accidentally ran a friend over and injured another man while he was trying to get away from attackers. But police, they have a different story. They say that they spoke to witnesses who tell them it looked intentional. Richard St. Paul is a defense attorney and David Schwartz, a defense attorney and former prosecutor. All right, David, we know Knight was behind the wheel. It's not being debated here. Right. The question is intent. He apparently was fighting with a couple different guys at a burger joint just moments before. And now all of a sudden those two guys he's running over.
Right.
Question is, was he fleeing or chasing?
Well, that's always the question. Clearly it's a what happened case. It's sort of like you said, it's not a whodunit case. That's out the window. The attorneys have already agreed that it's an accident. So obviously he's going to say that it was an accident. He accidentally ran over these two people. One of them died, and then he fled for whatever reason. I don't know what the excuse is going to be for the fleeing. The key is the witnesses in this case, what people saw, when they saw it, and if they could put together a murder case.
Okay, but the fact that he's admitting that he fled the scene, Richard, does that not make it really hard for the defense to convince a jury when this goes to trial? If this goes to trial. Absolutely. I mean, how hard is that to convince? Well, yes, I was there. I fled in a panic. Oh, and I ran over two guys.
Absolutely not. We've seen this before. Robert Durst is a case where you may recall that he dismembered somebody, and his defense was self-defense. I was trying to defend myself against somebody. It's the same thing for Suge Knight. He's saying that, look, I feared for my life, I panicked, I left. And the question is whether that fear for his life was reasonable. So he's short on credibility given his record. So he needs to be long on witnesses if he's going to get away from this murder rap.
I want to talk about his record because his record goes back to the 80s. It includes homicide allegations, which, by the way, he was never charged with, assault, battery. He also currently faces charges of snatching and stealing a camera in Beverly Hills in 2014. He faces 30 years if convicted on that charge. He was set free. He was out on $1.5 million bail. Now his bail set at $2 million. It makes you wonder, oh, and he was sentenced to 9 years in prison after being seen with his accomplices beating up a rival gang member. Tupac Shakur was shot dead just hours later while riding in the car with Suge Knight. He ended up only serving 5 out of those 9 years. It kind of makes you wonder why a guy like this is still on the streets. No?
I mean, look, Richard and I fight these fights every single day. What's going to happen is there's going to be a Molyneux hearing, there's going to be a Sandoval hearing. The trial should be a laboratory. So all of this stuff should be kept out of the trial. He should stand charges for what he did in this particular case and not his horrible history.
Can we just find the video of him turning himself in? He waited for his lawyer, first of all, before he actually turned himself in. And when you see him turning himself in, he's on his phone. I mean, this guy does not look. I think he actually just waved at the cameras. He's smoking a cigarette. This guy does not look like a guy that's...
He also told the reporters, apparently, when he was putting his cigar out, he said, I'll be back for that. It was still lit. He doesn't seem like he has a cure in the world.
He just doesn't seem to take this very seriously. He's putting a cigar out on a tree.
This matters not in any jury trial. No jury will see this, his arrogance, so to speak. It matters not. What really matters is what happened that day and whether what happened that day, whether the evidence says that he did fear for his life. Here's a guy that was shot 6 times. The assailant that shot him is out there. So he could very well, a jury could buy the fact that he did fear for his life if it was the same people who were trying to get him before.
But I have to tell you, Julie, if he acts that way in the courtroom, he's going to go down. If this jury sees him disrespecting the process and disrespecting the jury, he cannot act like this. And it's going to be tough for the lawyers to keep him in check.
I mean, it's just very hard for any jury to ignore his history. I mean, every jury knows that Tupac Shakur's murder was never actually solved.
Nor was Biggie Smalls.
Nor was Biggie Smalls. And this guy, I mean, the name of his record company founded was Death Row Records. I mean, he just has so many odds stacked up against him. I can't imagine, Richard, that I mean, he's going to walk into a courtroom and people are going to think that he's not guilty of something.
As David said before, look, the defense is going to argue to keep anything that happened out, including the fact that he allegedly stole somebody's camera and beat people up and was accused of murder before. Keep that stuff out and be tried singly on what these issues are now, which is whether or not he reasonably feared for his life, and as a result, it was a justified homicide.
Would they have to find a weapon at the scene in order to justify that?
Well, the car is a dangerous.
No, but I'm saying about his alleged alleged attackers.
No.
No, not at all. Not at all. And we bring up the point of jury selection. These cases are won and lost in jury selection, and it's going to be very key to pick a jury here that has not heard about all these prior bad acts.
He says that he and his lawyers say that he ran over one guy and then over a second while he was fleeing, but that he fled in a panic. So, I mean, I guess you're going to have to dissect the order of events here.
Right.
Was he fleeing in that they were in front of him and he was trying to drive forward? He backed up and then he went forward. If you're trying to flee, typically you hit the gas pedal. I mean, I'm a driver. I know how to go forward. But when you hit the reverse, I'm sorry, that's not the way I flee. If I'm trying to flee.
It doesn't make sense to us, but you never know when people are in a panic and your adrenaline is pumping.
You hit it into reverse.
You do all types of crazy things, including, as I said, in Robert Durst's case, you cut up a body and you still be found not guilty by a jury because they believe that you defended yourself.
It's true. There's no playbook to how you're going to act.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. This is what a jury is going to look at.
Yeah, the prosecutors would like you to believe that there's some sort of playbook to all this. There's not a playbook. No. People react in different ways.
All right. Guys, thank you so much. David Schwartz, Richard St. Paul, we appreciate you both coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.